All right, everyone. So today we are going to be talking about the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is, with my book, it is right above the belly button. So it's about 2 inches right above the belly button. So all the organs and everything that's in here is all part of the solar plexus. So what does that mean? Our gut, right? So the solar plexus is all about that belly, that gut, right? So the element for this one is fire, which makes sense, right? Because some people suffer from heartburn, right? Yeah, let's face it. So that's part of that, right? That is all involved in the gut, also called our second brain. So a lot of what you eat really does affect your whole body. So the gut is it can tell you how you're doing, right? It can tell you whether you're having problems in the belly because like when we're stressed out or we're nervous or we're uncomfortable, like we get those butterflies in our bellies, right? Like some of the phrases we always hear are that gut feeling, right? And that all pertains to the solar plex chakra. So the color for this one is yellow, which makes sense because it, again, goes with the fire element. Some really good essential oils that can be used in this area are peppermint, lemon, ginger, which all makes sense, right? Because they're all helpful for the belly and help to settle down what may be going on. You can always tell when you have gut problems in the solar plex or, that chakra is unbalanced because you'll get those knots, right? I can always tell when my clients are having problems in the solar plex just by the things that they tell me, how they're feeling unsettled, their belly's really been bothering them lately, and they're just not sure what is going on, but something's not setting right with their belly, right? Solar plex problems, totally. I had a client who, she was new to me and she had just moved here and she was telling me how, she had gone to the doctor and she was there all day. She actually gone to the emergency room and she had this, this pain in her gut and she could not get rid of it. That she went to the doctor, they did so many tests and it came back, they couldn't find anything. And I looked at her and I said, "Did you know?" I said, "I could have told you right then that there was nothing wrong with you." And she was like, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "There was nothing that a doctor could have told you, right? Like, they are testing for, maybe food poisoning and this and that, but that wasn't what she was going through. She had just moved here. She didn't feel comfortable being where she was at, because it's new. She felt like she was imposing on her family. And so this whole problem, this gut, like this pain in her gut, that was her solar plex. That was upset. It was that chakra. It was that pain in her belly. So when people say, I have this knot in my belly, that's what it is. It's that uncertainty, uncomfortableness, right? It's like that passion that you're like, I'm not sure if this is okay or not. And then it's that like, could be like the resentment, right? So that's kind of like your positive and negative, right, on that point. But it's what like doesn't feel right. When they say go with your gut feeling, go with your gut feeling, because if that doesn't feel right, then you're going to continue to be unbalanced there. So, I finished telling that client, I said, we need to work on your solar plex. That's really the problem, is you just don't feel comfortable right now. You're uncertain, and there's so much of this going on, especially right now, right? Because it's not just parents, it's children. They're uncomfortable. They have these butterflies in their bellies, and they don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to tell you what's going on, or there's so many people that are losing jobs, and so the parent is feeling unsettled, and so therefore the children are feeling unsettled because mom and dad are feeling unsettled, and they're not sure how to really listen or what to do, because the person they go to is having problems, right? So if mom and dad are unsettled, right, then who do they go to? Because there's nobody else around, right? So it's very important to really talk about these things, like if there's If you can see this coming in your kids, they're having maybe upset bellies, and it's not because their eating's changed or things like that. It's just because they're uncertain of things that are going on right now. Making sure that you're talking it out and letting it out, because that's going to release the things that you're holding in. Because again, with the chakras, we don't want to hold this negative energy inside of us, because if we hold it in, all it's doing is like prolonging the inevitable, right? Like it's just staying inside, and it just makes it worse and worse and worse until you finally come to me and we can work everything out, right? Like I said, I literally lost 10 pounds of negative energy by working my chakras out, but that was 30 years of stuff that I didn't even realize I was holding on to. Little things, right? And so in times like this, it's important to talk these things out with loved ones, because that's all you have around you, right? And you need to get it out, because holding it in isn't going to do anybody any good. And there's so much uncertainty right now, right? Because there's some places that, oh, we're opening up, and then there's some places like, oh no, we're still down, So it's like, well, what is this new norm going to be, right? Because everything that we knew before has totally changed. I mean, we may forever be wearing face masks everywhere for the rest of our lives. Who knows? I hope not. But you know what I mean? It's all uncertain. So our bellies are all just, like wishy-washy, and we're not sure what to do. So making sure that you really talk about this with your family, getting those knots out of your belly, getting those butterflies out, because it's not going to do any good for you or your body, right? And everybody else in the family. Because as we did this mindset thing yesterday with a bunch of parents, really we were, there were these parents that were trying to figure out what was wrong with our kids, and really it came down to what is wrong with us that we're portraying on our children, because that's what happens, right? Like, we're their mentors. They see us. They don't know better, right? They're looking at us to show them the way, right? And so if we're uncertain and if we're scared, that's okay to tell them, like, hey, you know what? We're not sure about what's going on right now. I want you to know that, I'm a little scared, but that's okay. Showing them that. Showing them empathy, right? Like, that it's okay for us all to be in this place, because we're all in this safe place together, right? If we're all a little scared, that's all right. But we're all in this together, and that's what makes it better. Because then we're not, what is the word I'm trying to say? We're not like against each other, right? We're working with each other, and we're showing each other that it's all right, and we got this, because we're a team, right? So it's really important, especially along this time, to let it out. Like, it may not be easy, but express it to somebody that you can talk to, because holding it in is only going to make this situation worse, especially as things continue on and life goes on. Like, if you're still holding on to this, 10 years from now, and you don't know why at that point, right? Because it's just this unsettlement that you continue to hold on for forever, right? And we don't want that. We want you to just it's okay, it's uncomfortable, I don't like this feeling, but I don't need to hold on to it forever. That's what you really need to know. This is not something that you need to hold on forever. Don't let this moment in time and these knots and these butterflies in your belly define who you're going to be the rest of your life, because they do impact your life when you hold on to these things. And we don't want that. We want this, it's not the most comfortable situation, but we're all in this together, right? And so if we all let it out, then we'll all be so much better when this is all over and for years to come. So, on that note, I'm going to read the passage that I have from my book, through Breathing Through the Chakras, with the help of essential oils. And the oil that I have chosen to put in my book for my son is actually lemon. So you would breathe in the scent. It smells like fresh lemons. And as you breathe in the scent, know that the solar plex chakra is as yellow as the sun that heats us up and keeps us warm. Just like the fires in our bellies, may it always help you have passion, power, drive, and transform you into the person you want to be, right? The person you want to be. So don't let this moment define you. let go of what's holding on, what's giving you those knots in your bellies now, so that you can continue on being you, even if it's a little, even if society changes and everything is different after this. Don't let this hold you back from still being who you are, right? We still want to be those same people, even if it's in a different situation. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning about the solar plexus. I hope you guys talk it out with your families and let those butterflies and those knots in those bellies go, because we don't want them to hold you back. And then again, if you're interested in getting my book, right now we have a Kickstarter page, and we're raising the funds so that we can get the book self-published is what I'm doing, and so I can get it out to as many kids as possible, because right now this is an amazing book and I wish I could just be sending out copies right now, because this is definitely a book that kids need right now, because for one, it smells amazing, so they're gonna love it, but two, it's nonchalantly teaching them about the chakras and how to let things go so that these things don't define them, right? So as kids, these things aren't holding them back, because this is the last thing you want for your child, right? You don't want this situation that they're in to bring them down for the rest of their life, which it could, because if they're not talking it out, it can hold them back from prospering. It can. I know, because there were things that I was holding back from childhood that I was like, oh, that really sucks. Like, I didn't think that, was affected me, but it did, and so I'm speaking from experience, I'm not just throwing stuff out there. Like, it happens. There's things we hold on to from childhood, and so don't let that happen to your kids. Help balance out the chakras so that they can be prosper and be the people that they want to be, right? Have a great day, guys. I'll see you soon, and next we'll be talking about the heart chakra.